4 o'clock in the morning. But all in all, freezing rain, ice, sleet, very difficult going home tonight. And then a change over to snow. And how much snow? Well, AccuWeather says the possibility of several more inches. Stay tuned on that one. A nasty night, more to come. Mark?
Thanks, Dave. We can't underscore enough how tricky the roads may be. Take a look at a scene here a couple of minutes ago out in Paoli. Car lost control, slid into a tree. Remember that on your ride home tonight. Take a quick look at Sky 6 right now down at the airport. You can see I-95 there. Traffic is fairly well crawling along. Those overpasses are very icy, and they're going to get worse as the temperature falls. And as Dave says, we're looking for snow to add to all of it. We'll be back at 4 with another update. And, of course, on Action News at 5 o'clock, we'll have the complete winter storm story. I'm Mark Howard.
Combination of a high-pressure area over Canada coupled with a low-pressure area over Kentucky has brought snow and ice through the Ohio Valley, and it's heading east. Good afternoon, I'm Rich Johnson. We have a major snowstorm and ice storm now through the Ohio Valley that is likely to work its way to the east, and we will also be looking at a secondary low-pressure area developing off of North Carolina. That is going to bring the heaviest of the snow to the northeast. Let's show you right now on our satellite photograph exactly what we see. We do see a low-pressure area over Kentucky. This is the first low pressure area which will gradually weaken. Right now pressures are falling rapidly off the Virginia Capes and off of North Carolina, so we will see that low pressure area take over by this evening, and that is by far going to be the major or the strongest of the two storms, where we'll see a foot of snow in some cases through some big cities of the east. Some of the snow began falling this morning around Philadelphia. Whilst we look at the scene again, the radar showing the scope of this storm reaching from the northeast still through portions of the Midwest into Kentucky and Ohio. Most of this is in the form of snow along and north of the Ohio River, but it does change over to ice. In fact, the first bout of snow generally in northern Pennsylvania has brought a 4 to 9 inch snowfall. Closer examination of Indiana and Ohio. This is mostly snow that we continue to see fall, although in central and southern Kentucky it is rain. The snow continues very heavily from Cleveland, Mansfield, Canton, Akron to Dayton. Around Indianapolis, your snow has now become light after a heavy snow today. Upwards of 8 inches have fallen. In fact, you can see Dayton there on your screen. Just west of Dayton, Interstate 70 is closed. Drifts are already reportedly up to 2 to 3 feet, and some of those drifts may climb all the way up to 8 feet by the time the storm is over with later tonight. Farther to the east into eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania, all of this is snow that we are seeing. Heavy snow around Cleveland. Around Pittsburgh, you're seeing a little bit of a mix. Not all, I should have said some of it was a mix, but around Pittsburgh, you should change over to all snow. In fact, you should see a decent accumulation, but the energy is transferring from this storm, so that means from New York City to Boston, you will likely see the most of anyone, for the exception of maybe some of the mountainous areas. As we look at Pennsylvania, this is mostly snow, although generally south of the turnpike we are seeing a mix of snow and ice. Around Baltimore, we see freezing rain and sleet, and probably into Washington, D.C., you will see light amounts of snow after some of the icing. Some of the snow is going to be heavy from Harrisburg, Allentown to northern New Jersey. That is one of the greatest potentials for snow into Connecticut and into Boston. Maybe a foot of snow or even more. One more radar. This is the close-up view. We can see exactly what's happening right now. Some heavier amounts of precipitation ready to work its way toward New York City. So the heavy snow should be starting later this afternoon into tonight and continuing into tomorrow. As we look at some of the storm totals, some of the numbers look like this. Around Indianapolis, you're now up to 8 inches of snow. Cleveland, 7 inches officially. Some of the snow, as we look across Pennsylvania, a general 4 to 9 inch snowfall. What caused this storm and how did it form? Well, as we show you, a low pressure area over Kentucky and Tennessee. Warm ocean water is going to cause a secondary low pressure area development.
Valley area, and also southern PA into central PA and over into New York and New Jersey. Snowfall rates will be getting heavier as the afternoon wears on, could be up to 1 to 2 inches per hour. And it looks like there's still quite a bit of action ahead of the cold front down in Florida. Let's show you that radar view real quickly now. See what's happening. Here come the storms barreling into Dade and Broward County. Briefly, winds could be gusting 50 or 60 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warnings are out for Palm Beach and Broward and Dade County until 3:15 local time. They'll barrel on through behind it, turning windy and colder in the area tonight. And then Phase 1 of our storm beginning to weaken, which is a low pressure area heading through Kentucky into West Virginia. All the energy is transferring to this low off of the North Carolina coast, and that is what is going to cause the big snow for the Northeast. And not only snow, we are looking for some ice. Today, snowy highways through the Midwest, Indianapolis to Cleveland, Mansfield, you're being hit heavily, although starting to wind down a little bit around Indianapolis. Certainly that icy mix, southern PA into northern Maryland. Then look at this later tonight. New York City, Providence, Hartford, Boston. Here it comes, and it is going to keep coming for tomorrow. Coming up next here on this afternoon's weather, we will have a look.
Shot. It's free of alcohol, so the taste is lighter than a leading spray. I can have lots of reservations, but none of them are about new Crisco spray.
Watch the 5-Day Planner 20 minutes after the hour, every hour, right here on the Weather Channel. The 5-Day Planner is sponsored in part by Kelly Services.
And now your local forecast. Accurate, convenient, and dependable. Only on the Weather Channel.
Well, good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Weather Channel. Of course, today's top story is our snow and ice storm making its way farther to the east. In fact, our low pressure center now has jumped across the mountains, or is about to do so. One low pressure area which has been trekking through Kentucky today, now into western areas of Virginia. This low is the one that is going to take over, and that is the one that is going to bring the heaviest of the snow to the northeastern cities. This is a combination of snow, rain, freezing rain, and sleet. The south end of the front, thunderstorms, some of those have been strong in Florida. Meanwhile, across the west, high pressure under control. mostly dry conditions. Where's the cold air with our storm? We have a little bit. Cold high pressure over southern Canada with temperatures in the single digits. The coldest of the air still well in northern Canada. Some of the wind chills even as low as the -60s. Farther to the south, wind chills, not so bad. Some teens, some below zero numbers, and that is through the eastern lake areas. Some of the numbers look like this. Wind chill right now in Detroit, -1, also -1 at Cincinnati. Some snow at 0 degrees in Boston. That's the wind chill. The actual temperature, though, 23, which is setting that foundation of cold air up for that snow to fall into. 25 snowing around New York City lightly, and we have snow and sleet around Philadelphia with sleet and freezing rain at Baltimore, around Washington, D.C., and southward we're looking at some rain presently. Here's our storm. Again, the main storm center is in Kentucky, now hopping across the Appalachians from Tennessee into North Carolina, but we are looking for another low pressure area to form off of North Carolina and the Virginia Capes, and that storm should head up the coast. But one of the keys with this storm is that it's going to stall. There's a big low pressure area which is going to block it from moving too far from the east, so it should stall off of Nova Scotia into northern New England especially. That means additional snow coming up over the next couple of days. So I tell you what, over the next few days, I think it's going to be a nightmare for travelers just getting to and from work. But for the kids, this is going to be a few fun days coming up here. Most of the kids probably out of school now, and they're going to see snow, and it's probably going to be around for Christmas. In fact, that's almost a guarantee for many of the cities in the Northeast. Looking at Indianapolis, we do see the snow beginning to taper off as that line continues to move to the south. Still some snow down toward the Ohio Valley. Heavier snow southeast of Indianapolis. In fact, looking through some of the reports, Interstate 70 closed west of Dayton. Still some heavy snow from north of Cincinnati near Dayton up to Mansfield. Heading farther to the east, snow from Mansfield to Cleveland, right up to Canton, Akron, and Youngstown, all reporting recently some heavy snow, and over Du Bois some heavy snow too. But farther south, down toward the interstate, we are looking at a combination of some sleet and snow and some freezing rain, so the turnpike is going to be rather rough across Pennsylvania. Even Interstate 80, general 4 to 9 inch snowfall already, but some of that is going to continue and probably intensify, especially northeastern areas of the state. In fact, what we're looking at into Pennsylvania, if you're traveling up maybe Interstate 81 or maybe across 80, eastern end of 80 or maybe over to 78, it is going to be a rough time later today into tonight. Look at all the moisture streaming northward from D.C. and Baltimore. It's heading into Philadelphia now, so that snow-sleet mixture picking up. In fact, there's a bit of an ice storm now taking place from near Baltimore, especially to your north, heading up into northern Baltimore County, Carroll County, Cecil County, northern and southern Pennsylvania up to York. We're looking at some freezing rain and sleet, and that's pretty much what we see across southeastern Pennsylvania, that freezing rain and sleet. Around New York City, a bit of a break, but it won't be long before the snow really starts picking up, and we take you into South Florida. Look at the storms. Heavy rain recently at Miami. The worst of the weather has now gone past. The rain will hang around for a while, but again, it looks like the weather will start to improve. Let's head
developing through Connecticut right now. lightly into Boston, Cape Cod. We're getting a little mixture on Long Island, some sleet and freezing rain with temperatures well below freezing, mid-20s, ice slip to JFK, so be careful. And the precipitation will begin to get heavier again in northern New Jersey, Long Island, nearby New York Metro. The snow, kind of light now in the lower southern tier of New York, may get very little in northeast New York out of this. Northern Pennsylvania, but southern Pennsylvania, we're looking at some mixed precipitation. Pittsburgh to Altoona, some fairly heavy sleet at time in southern Pennsylvania. Still a little bit of snowflake activity south of St. Louis, south of the snow throughout.